3 months ago, a kid stood in front of me and laughed in my face, called me a joke, to my face, in my own courtroom. And today he walked back in, and I couldn't stop shaking. Because what happened between those 2 moments? It'll wreck you, in the best way possible. Stay with me. October 3rd. That's the day everything started. Kid's name was Derek. 26 years old. Silver Audi. Red light ticket. Simple case. Dash cam caught everything. Light was red for over 2 seconds before he rolled through it. Phone in his hand. Guilty. Done. $185 fine. Walk out, move on. Except Derek had other plans. When I asked if he had anything to say for himself, he didn't even look at me. He turned to Officer Medina. She's sitting there in uniform, quiet, professional. And Derek? Derek goes, Officer Medina, huh? Let me guess. Quota cop with nothing better to do than harass people at 9 p.m.? He called her a quota cop. Let me tell you who Officer Medina is. Single mom. 2 kids. Works double shifts so her 12-year-old can play soccer. 7 years on the force. Does everything right? Everything. And she sat there. Took it. Didn't flinch. But I saw it. I've been doing this 32 years. I know when words cut someone, even when they don't show it. Then my clerk, Dorothy Chen, starts reading the charges. 24 years she's worked for me, grandmother, 6 grandkids. Kindest person in this building. And Derek sighs, loud, dramatic. Can you read any slower? Some of us actually have jobs, to a woman who's been here since before he was born. Dorothy's hands started shaking. Just a little, but I saw it. And then Derek looked at me. Your Honor, actually no. Forget the respect. This court's a joke, and so are you. 32 years. 32 years I've been called names. Comes with a job. But something about this kid. The smirk, the certainty. The way he looked at everyone in that room like we were beneath him. It stayed with me. I had a choice. Hold him in contempt. 30 days in jail. Snap my fingers, done. Part of me wanted to. But I looked at him. Really looked. And I didn't see a monster. I saw someone pretending. Someone who thought cruelty meant strength. Someone who'd never been told there was another way. So I got quiet. You want someone to actually hear you? Don't yell. Get quiet. I said, Derek, you just insulted a single mother who works extra shifts for her kids. You mocked a grandmother who's served this court for 24 years. You called me a joke in my own courtroom. I could lock you up right now, 30 days. But I'm not going to, because I don't think this is who you really are. I think this is who you've learned to be. So here's your choice. Pay the fine. Take your points. Leave. We never see each other again. Or come back in 90 days with a letter, a real letter. Tell me who you are, why you acted this way, who you want to become. If that letter's real, if I can tell you, actually mean it, I'll consider dropping everything. But if you bring me garbage, or don't show up at all, fine doubles, and I add the contempt charge. Your choice. You know what Derek did? He laughed. Not a chuckle. A full laugh. Fine. I'll write your little letter, Your Honor. See you in 90 days. Walked right out. Didn't look back. I called after him. I hope you surprise me, Derek. He kept walking. Door closed, and I thought, that's it. I'll never see him again. He'll pay online. Move on. Done. I was wrong, because 12 days later, Derek's world collapsed. His dad had a stroke, in the kitchen. Derek found him there. 3 days after that, his dad died. Derek was holding his hand when it happened. Last words his father ever said, "Be kind, son. That's all that matters. Be kind." Here's what I didn't know until today. Derek thought he knew his father. Thought his dad was weak, soft, too nice. Never yelled, never demanded respect. Let Derek's uncle run the family business while he volunteered on weekends. Derek thought he was the strong one. The funeral changed everything. 400 people showed up. 400. Derek didn't recognize most of them. Standing at his own father's funeral, and strangers keep coming up to him, crying, telling him stories about his dad. Stories Derek had never heard. Then a guy named Marcus stands up to speak. Derek's never heard that name in his life. Marcus is huge, 6'4", covered in tattoos, gets up in front of 400 people and says, "Your father found me living under a bridge in 1998. He didn't give me money. He gave me a job, gave me dignity, told me, 'You're not broken, Marcus. You just need someone to believe in you.' That was 26 years ago. Everything I am today is because Bill Harmon saw something in me nobody else did." Marcus is a counselor at the VA now, helps veterans every single day, all because Derek's dad believed in him when he had nothing. Derek learned his father had volunteered at a homeless shelter every Saturday morning for 30 years, 6 a.m. to noon, every Saturday, for 30 years. While Derek was sleeping off Friday night, his dad was serving scrambled eggs to people who had nothing. Derek learned his father had paid for 12 kids to go to college. Full ride, 4 years. Anonymously. Kids from broken homes, foster care, kids who never thought college was possible. And Bill Harmon just paid for it. Never told anyone. Derek's dad used to say, "The measure of a man isn't what he has. It's what he gives when no one's watching." Derek never understood that. Not until he was gone. 90 days later, Derek walked back into my courtroom. Same person. Completely different man. Hands shaking, could barely make eye contact. He brought the letter. I read it in silence, and I had to take my glasses off because my eyes were blurring up. Derek wrote, "Your Honor, I stood in your courtroom 90 days ago and called you a joke. I insulted Officer Medina, mocked Mrs. Chen, acted like I was better than everyone. I wasn't better. I was worse. I was empty. I had money and status, and none of it meant anything because I had no character. Officer Medina does her job with dignity. I called her a quota cop. Mrs. Chen treats everyone with kindness. I told her she was slow. You've given your life to this work, 32 years, and I called you a joke. I was the joke. I was the one with nothing real to offer." Derek started volunteering at the homeless shelter, his dad's old shift, every Saturday at 6 a.m. He wrote, "Yar. The first time I went, I almost left. Sat in my car for 20 minutes. Didn't know what to say. Then I walked in and a man, maybe 60, weathered face, kind eyes, asked me to pour him coffee. And he said, 'Thank you, son.' Just like that. 'Thank you, son.' And I realized that's enough. That's a start. 10 weeks. Every Saturday, serving breakfast, cleaning tables, listening to stories." Derek ended the letter like this. "I don't know if I can become the man my father was. He set a standard I may never reach. But I'm going to try, every Saturday morning. Every day I wake up. I'm going to try. Thank you for believing there was a better man inside me, even when I didn't." I put the letter down, looked at Derek. "Derek, I've read hundreds of letters in this courtroom, maybe thousands. This letter is real. I can tell because it cost you something to write it. You're not the same person who walked out of here 90 days ago. That person, the one who called me a joke, he's gone. I'm looking at someone else now, someone your father would recognize, someone he'd be proud of." I dismissed the case, waived everything, the fine, the points, all of it. You don't owe this court anything, but Derek, every time you drive through an intersection, I want you to think about your father, about Marcus under that bridge, about the man you want to be. Can you promise me that?" His voice cracked, barely a whisper. "Yes, Your Honor. I promise." I did something I don't usually do. Stepped down from the bench, walked over to where he was standing, put my hand on his shoulder. "Your father would be proud of you, not because you wrote a good letter, Not because you got out of a ticket, because you changed. That's the hardest thing a person can do. Changing who you've learned to be. And you did it. Derek broke down right there. Really cried. Deep, shaking sobs. First time he'd let himself cry since his dad died. Officer Medina was there. She was crying too. Dorothy was wiping her eyes. The whole courtroom was silent. Because that's what a courtroom should be sometimes. Not just a place for judgment, a place for healing. Few months later, I got another letter. This one from Officer Medina. Derek had reached out to her, found her, waited for her shift to end at the station, apologized, in person. Told her he understood what he'd called her was wrong, that she was doing her job, serving her community. Good mother, good officer. And then he made a donation to her daughter's soccer league. Enough to cover the whole team's equipment for the season. New uniforms, new balls, new goals, everything. Didn't ask for anything in return. Didn't want his name on anything. He just wanted to make it right. Officer Medina wrote me, "Your Honor, I've been insulted more times than I can count. Comes with the badge. But no one has ever come back to apologize. Not once. Until him." And Dorothy? Derek sent her flowers on her birthday. The card said, "Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your grace. I'm sorry it took me so long to see it." She keeps that card on her desk, right next to pictures of her grandkids. That's who Derek Harmon is now. Not the person who walked in on October 3rd and called me a joke. The person who walked out on December 3rd and decided to become someone his father would recognize. People can change. I've seen it. And that's why after 32 years, I still believe in what we do here. Because every once in a while, someone surprises you. Every once in a while, someone shows you that redemption isn't just a word. It's real. Derek surprised me. And I really hope, that somewhere out there, someone watching this, someone who thinks they can't change, someone who thinks they're too far gone, someone who's made mistakes and can't see a way back. I hope they see Derek's story and understand. It's never too late. It's never too late to become who you're meant to be. If this story hit you somewhere deep, if you've ever needed someone to believe in you, if you know someone who needs to hear this, comment "ready" below. Share this with someone who needs it, because sometimes all it takes is 90 days and a choice. Case closed. This is a dramatization for storytelling and educational purposes, not based on a real case.